and welcome to another Danoon Model Railway video. Today we will be making the ratio ground signals. They are at least what look like a very nice, very small, the camera will focus. No? Okay, well the camera doesn't like to focus. A very small kit by ratio to represent, I think they're British Rail ground signals which are used for shunting. So, get out my scalpel, just make a cut along there, pull the bag off. So I've just got this little piece of cardboard, don't need that, just put that to one side. Just make sure there's nothing in the way of the work area, and we'll see what we get. Alright, so there's this very basic instruction bit, and then there are all these parts. Alright, so I'll build one first, and then I will do a jump cut, and I'll show you what they all look like when they're done, then I'll paint them and everything. Okay, so I'll cut out pieces carefully. This is a very delicate job, you've got to be very careful. I have broken and accidentally not been able to use a couple of kits because I wasn't careful when I was cutting all the parts out. Now I'll put them on the black painted surface of my desk because they are very small and they are white, so they will be hard to see on the desk surface. So if I just get that bit, there's a tiny bit of excess that needs to be trimmed off. Alright, so that's done. So that's 3 out of the 5 pieces. So here's number 4. Oh my lord, that is tiny. And number 5. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this part. Get my super glue, squeeze it very gently to get the... Oh, that's a bit too much. Get the tiniest bit on it. And fit it onto the base, which is proving to be somewhat harder than it looks. I'm not sure. There we go, I think that alright, I think that should do it. Put emphasis on the word think. Flip it upside down. Tad of glue because the hole goes all the way through. Just make sure it's in the right position. Just hold it, make sure that it's all correct. Alright, I do know that that's not dry, but I'm just going to put that to the side there so it can dry for a minute. Okay, so obviously we need to wait for that super glue to dry, so I'll just do a jump cut. Alright, now it's dry enough, I can pick it up and move it. So if I just put it on its side, the next thing I'm going to do is fit the actual signal itself. So again, get it in the right position, tiniest bit of super glue. Pick up the main. Slot it in. Oh bugger. Apparently it hadn't stuck properly. Alright, I'll save that till the end then. You need to make sure there are two little dots on the actual circle part of the signal, or the actual signal part. You need to make sure that one of those is positioned directly over the lamp, because when they get painted up later, they are going to be red on one of them, and red on the top one, green on the bottom one. They're going to be the actual signal part, like the actual part that moves and everything. Then on the other side, I get this tiny little part, and for this part I'm actually going to just put the glue, oops, that was a little too much. I'm going to actually put the glue on, oh, there we go, on the signal itself, or rather, on the, alright, far out, okay, there it is. Oh, hold on. I know it's down here. I will find it. No need to worry. Okay, I'll just leave you there to do the incredibly fun task of watching glue dry as I go down here and have a look for that part. Also, at some stages in the video I might go to an accent like this. Well, I'm teaching myself how to talk with a different accent. This just happens to be the accent I chose. So if I talk like this, please do excuse me. That's just me going back, because I have been speaking like this most of the time for the past few days. So, pretty much I've only just gone back to this accent just for the video. So, sorry, back to my normal accent for the video. So if I do talk like this, then I apologize. But I will do a video when I finally use this as my normal accent, because I don't like, quite honestly, I don't like my original accent, the Australian one. It's too generic, too boring for me. So please do excuse me for swapping accents over, which I will do. I definitely know will happen. Hold on, where did that go? You're kidding, not again. Hold on. Today is not my lucky day. This morning I missed the tram to school, scooted all the way down to the train station, only for the train to leave just as I was coming into the station. So I missed the train, I missed the tram. Then at school some kid goes and decides that a joyride on my scooter would be fun, and happens to get it taken off him by a teacher, and the teacher has no idea who it belongs to, so instead of returning it to me, takes it into an office. I have to go walking everywhere to try and find where my damn scooter went. And yeah, all in all, not the best day that has ever happened to me. Well, mildly put. Alright, so hopefully that's dried by now, so we can put the lever in it. So if we just test fit it, so basically goes in on an angle with the little circle part. I'm not sure if it'll focus but there is a little circle part on this, and if you slot that through on the side that is not the side of the actual circle, then that goes through, or at least it should. It's very bendy, so I'm just taking my time and being careful. So okay, sorry about that. Basically I was filming, but the camera ran out of charge, so I had to go and I had to charge up the camera. So it's been a couple of hours now. It's a little dark outside, as you can see. It's all dark. It's just reflections in my room. So battery's fully charged. I think where I left off, I'd just started pushing the little lever into the signal. So you push it all the way in, you position it in a position you like. I like that position personally, but it's all up to opinion of photographs, I guess. So with that done, I can find where I put the blasted base part, and if I can, here we go, here it is. So we can now glue this bit on, because it is essentially done. And of course super glue is clogged up, so I've got a couple of drawing pins just on my desk, because this happens all the blooming time. It's so annoying. Like, really, people, always keep a pin or a nail that you can easily see available on your desk for when glue clogs up, because otherwise it's a blooming nightmare trying to get it to work again. Okay, so that's obviously open. So I just again put a little bit of glue on there. Bring the actual signal down. And I'm terribly sorry if my hair got in the way just then. Has a very bad habit of doing that. But there we go, signals in place and drying. So you can just leave that to dry. So I'll go and I'll paint that in another. Oh no, actually I'll paint it in this video. Why not? I've got black paint, I got red paint. I just don't have the green paint for the little dot, so I'll just leave that as white for now. I will paint it green eventually, but just for now, because I don't have any green paint, it'll have to stay the way it is new. Well, now, sorry, I'm still getting used to new accent and everything. Takes me a couple of minutes to revert back to my standard Australian accent. In other terms, this, which I've been doing for the last couple of minutes while this video has been rolling. So that's pretty much it, or at least that's all it is to actually making it. There will be the painting part, which I'll film. It will be in this video, so don't worry if you think you have to watch another video. Then please don't panic, because as soon as this super glue dries, we will be back and filming the painting process. And also, just a thing to note, it is actually a very tight fit, fitting the little control bar, just that little crossbar across there. It is very difficult fitting that in. It's a very tight fit. I'm pretty sure you don't need glue actually for that part. I know I certainly didn't use any. But yeah, it's just such a nice tight fit that I just slotted it in, and Bob's your uncle. So just cut the camera and come back when it's dry. Okay, so I'm back again. Glue's all dried. So the paint colours I've got a red. This is Tamiya acrylic paint number X7 and Tamiya flat black paint, which is XF1. So I've got a brush. I know it's a reasonably large brush, but it's really the best quality brush I have, so I have to put up with it. So if I just open up the red paint, all this. Now the red only gets used for a little stripe across. So that's pretty much all the red that it needs. So now put the lid back on the red, put it to one side, get out, at least have a look. Here we go. For a slightly smaller brush to do the black with. Now the black goes pretty much everywhere else except for on the actual signal bit, which we've just done as the red colour, so it just stays red and white, but the rest of it very carefully gets an overall coat of matte or flat black paint. So I'll let that coat dry. Just a tiny bit more glue on the bottom because it is a very weak thing holding it up. So you always should put super glue in any rate, super glue down before you paint it, because if you have painted it, the super glue can leave a whitish residue behind, which you can see on this Ratio oil tank kit. That little pipe at the back actually started out life black, like these ones at the front, but I super glued it in place instead of using PVA, which I used for this, or at least the front parts. So it has ended up a very, how do I put it, a very lighter black with shades of white around it. So if you're using super glue, I always recommend making sure you've done all the gluing before you put the final coat of paint on. So while the first coat of black is drying, because I need to be able to hold it, obviously I need to be able to hold it with something, and if the whole thing's covered in wet paint, it's going to be very hard to hold. So I go, can just go over the lever a bit because I missed a tiny spot on the lever. Go back over the lever, go back over the actual lamp and make sure it's all got some nice black on it. Yes, so you can tell from the fact that just by holding this little lever and touching the base plate that it's weak, because the base plate actually had just been bent out of place just from me holding the signal in a position where my fingernail was just, and even then only a couple of millimeters, only just touching the base plate. So you have to be very, very careful. Now I would usually leave it for about an hour or so to let it dry properly, but sadly for me I don't have an hour because it is already past 9 o'clock at night and I just don't have an hour to wait, given I've got so many other bits and pieces to go on with. So again, if I just, oh damn, so there you go. That is what happens when you accidentally get super glue on your fingers while you're holding something. It gets stuck on your fingers, so I'm going to have to be extra careful here. Use a scalpel. Alright, so I got that off. No damage to the skin. No damage to the model except for a bit of a marked coat of paint, but that will be fixed. So now for the fun part, which I like to call sitting back and watching paint and glue dry. No, who am I kidding? I'm not going to torture you. I'm not going to make you sit there and watch the glue dry. I'm going to do another jump cut until it's all properly dry, even though it's been 4 hours since I started this video.